So I thought to myself as I'm coming out here, what would I believe would be the biggest impact for you guys? Well, in my mind, especially in this day and age right now, man, there's 3 things that I think will blow up your business faster than anything. Okay, number 1, believe it or not, train your people. Obviously, I've got Lightspeed VT. It's an interactive training system. I started that in 1999, back when no one had any kind of online training at all. I went out there, I quit my job like a dumbass, went out there and thought I was going to be a millionaire in 90 days, like a dumbass. So I started to do a little research. Now, if you guys own companies, pay attention to this, because a lot of companies out there, you think you have training programs, but you don't. You've got what we call exposure programs. Okay? In order to be training people effectively, you have to have 4 key ingredients. You have to have good content, which is the right way to do it in the first place. If you don't know what to do in the first place, there's a problem right there. Okay? Good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. You see, when I was working for this organization, I was inadvertently doing these things over and over. I just didn't realize that's what I was doing. That's how I could take somebody and make him a badass, because I was giving them good information, repetition, practice, and I was holding them accountable. When I quit my job and went out there to do it as my own company, I was giving the good content, but there was no repetition, there was no practice, and there was no accountability. And that's why it wasn't sticking. So now you go around all these companies in the world, they're running around trying to figure out how to grow and scale their businesses, but they're not training their team. They're not training themselves. You gotta constantly develop as a leader in order to build a big, massive team. So those 4 ingredients are what's important. Good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. Training your people correctly is going to increase your productivity. It's going to decrease your turnover. It's going to increase your competitive advantage, and a lot of companies aren't doing it. So as I discovered those 4 ingredients running around on the road, I was going to quit, and I said, I better not quit. I got to figure this out. So I thought to myself, there's this thing called the internet out there. Maybe I can go out and build a program that would allow me to say what I was going to say, good content, okay? But it can give the repetition and practice and accountability, even though I'm not still at the organization. And because of that, I got to see a lot of data, and the data shows that the top organizations and individuals in the world train the most. So if you guys are out there, whether you're a one-man band or you got a team of people, I'm telling you right now, you need to train your team, you need to train yourself. Good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. You want to blow up your business, I'm telling you, the people in your organization is how you're going to do it. And a lot of times we forget to train them. So don't forget to train them. Got it? Okay, the second thing I think, I just look back at what's made the biggest impact for me. I used to take risk. I mean, quitting my job was a risk. I had frickin' child support due and all this bullshit. Todd said I got 7 kids from 10 women.
Do the math.
Which is true, but at the end of the day, I mean, you gotta understand one thing. You have to take risk. There's too many people not willing to risk it anymore. You got to risk it to get the biscuit. You might be one of them that is sitting there. What do I mean by that? Like, dude, money, for example. Everybody's afraid to spend it, especially in this economy. Oh, this has happened and that's happened. Better conserve. Well, what happens is this. When we first start our businesses, we're all balls. We're out there, we're risking everything. Why? We got nothing to lose. You remember that? Nothing to lose. What'd you have to lose? So you go out there and you freaking start risking it, and you start giving it your all, and you start doing everything you need to do to make a win. And then what happens is you start to make a little money, you start to make a little progress, you start to build that business, right? And now all of a sudden you start to make something, and you're like, shit, I remember what it was to be broke, so I don't want to risk the money anymore. I don't want to be broke again. I don't want to risk. And literally what happens is your mind goes from abundance back to scarcity. That's what's happening. You guys that are sitting there thinking, how can I grow and scale my business? Folks, take more risk. People don't want to lose the money they've got. That's the problem. They don't want to invest. Folks, if you want to make more money in your business, advertise more. Okay? Learn marketing. Hire someone that knows marketing. That's all it takes. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Believe me, he said he don't know if I got a college degree. I didn't get a high school diploma. And I keep things simple. I don't overcomplicate shit. The last thing you got to do, and I'll make this quick, is you guys got to build a personal brand. Okay? It took me 20-some years to build an 8-figure company. And I was hustling, and I'm a damn good closer. And that's the only reason, by the way, I made it. So if you guys don't have the ability to sell, close, and persuade, I would get that skill set underneath your belt. And I would develop that no matter what it cost me, because with that skill, it's made me millions of dollars. It's the only reason I'm up here, is my ability to sell, close, and persuade. So you have to have those things. If you guys are curious, well, what does it really take to succeed in any industry? I'll tell you what they are, and they're very simple. Don't complicate it. Number one, mindset. Your mindset. You don't think it's possible? That's your mindset. Skill set, you might be average, you might suck. People, you got to get good at something. The good news is you can. All you have to do is what? Practice, drill, and rehearse. Practice. You ever heard the rule of 100? You spend 100 hours at any one thing, you'll be better than 95% of the people in the world that do that. 100 hours, that's nothing. I've been drunk longer than this. So you have to go out there and get your skill set down, and then you got to get your habits right. Your habits are what matter. Show me your habits, I'll show you your life. Okay? You show me the person that's miserable and depressed and no money and no freaking unhealthy and no relationships, it boils down to it. That's because their habits are messed up. Your skill set, your habits, and your mindset. That's what you have to focus on. And your mindset's what's most important. Now, believe it or not, you can be all positive and shit and still not make it. It's possible to run all passionately in the wrong direction. You ever see those dipshits? They're running around all happy and shit, and you know they ain't going anywhere. Okay? So if you get your mindset right, that's great, but now you got to get your skill set right. What skill set, Brad? Listen, common sense, the ability to sell, close, and persuade, the ability to drive traffic, the ability to market. Okay? I used to think sales was everything. I was dead wrong. You know what's everything? Marketing. Why? I'll take a kick-ass salesperson with no one to talk to. They're not going to outperform the average salesperson with everyone to talk to. Marketing is how you get people to talk to. Usually marketing costs money, but people don't want to spend no money. So again, go out there and spend some money, folks. Get your mindset right, get your skill set right, and get your habits down. You know how you get good habits? Okay? You stop doing the dumb shit and start doing the smart shit. It's that simple. And then lastly, I'd say build that personal brand, folks, because it took me that long to build a freaking 8-figure company. And in the last 2 years, I built a couple more just with my personal brand. It's unbelievable. And I'll tell you exactly how I did it if you want to do it. And everybody here can do it. Okay? Number one, you got to put out content. You got to have a source of content. Everybody's trying to think, well, what do I post? What do I post? What do I post? Post you. Being you. What's that mean? Well, what the fuck do you do? You know, whatever you do. You know, I sell real estate. I flip houses. I freaking sell cars. Whatever it is you do, let me see you doing it. Hire a camera person, a camera wife, a camera kid, a camera son, a camera daughter. You don't need big budgets to do this, but get yourself on camera. Now, some of you are thinking, oh my God, somebody might think I'm stupid. No, guaranteed someone's going to think you're stupid. Okay? You got to get rid of that stupid ass mindset. Okay? Quit worrying about everybody else. You know why you worry about everybody else's opinion? Because you need their validation. Because you can't validate yourself. And the reason you can't validate yourself is because deep down, subconsciously, you don't think you deserve any better. And you're not even aware of it. That's what subconscious means, below awareness. So you got to get out of that mindset. You got to get out of it. Otherwise, you're never going to do anything because you're not going to outperform your own self-image. Pay attention to what I just said. You will never outperform your own self-image. You want to raise your net worth, you got to raise your self-worth. Okay? Stop. That's right. So you got to stop thinking that you're not worth very much. I've literally had somebody to say, hey, would you do this for $20 an hour? They're like, fuck yeah. $20 an hour? Are you kidding me? You only think you're worth $20 an hour? You got to raise your self-worth. It's very easy to do. You forgive what you've ever done in your past. You commit to do what you say you're going to do. You start racking up the wins because confidence is the memory of winning. You get rid of all the negative dipshits and people in your life. Stop talking shit to yourself. Map out and visualize exactly where you want to go so every day you can say, does this move me towards or away? It's a very simple question you ask every day. And then number 6, you seek information. New information. Why? Because if you want to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing. To change what you're doing, you got to change what you believe. The only way to change what you believe is to get new information. Otherwise, you will never change what you believe. You teach a kid that it doesn't burn to stick their hand in fire. That kid will stick his hand in fire like it doesn't even burn. And when he finds that new information, he'll stop believing you in 2 seconds and start believing something else. You need new information. And I ain't talking about reading the shampoo bottle while you're taking a shit. I'm talking about good books. You know what I'm saying? So folks, let's not make this rocket science. Let's go out and make 2024 our best year ever. Let's take some risks.